So I've been thinking about doing this video, but I'm honestly a little scared because like I sometimes feel like, who am I to say like what is unconditional love anyway? But I think I've been wrestling with this question for a long time, and I think that if I give you my definition of unconditional love, you can kind of recognize it when it's happening for you. It definitely has happened. It's not like a fantasy thing. It's happened to you in your life. So I think we should start by just defining what love is. So the Google definition of love is, let me just pull it up. So an intense feeling of deep affection, a great interest and pleasure in something. To love someone is to feel deep affection for someone, to like or enjoy very much. So affection is like, also a word that we can define. So like a gentle feeling of fondness or liking, the action or process of affecting or being affected. I don't really like either of these definitions of love because I think that love is, so everybody's felt love before. The best definition for love that I can think of is like, it's like when you go from just thinking about someone to thinking about someone, feeling the sensation in your body about someone, and even in your spirit, even in your connection with your spirituality and your creator, feeling that way about someone. And it's all an outflowing of positivity. Like in your body, you feel positivity and happiness and joy for that person, and like wanting to be around them, wanting to see them, wanting to touch them, hold them, kiss them. In your mind, you like them, like you plan about things for them, you consider them a good person. In your mind, you tell a good story to yourself about them. Emotionally, you feel positive things, like even some negative things, but it's all in, it's a very intense emotional focus, I would say. Like when I think about my mom, it's a very intense emotional focus that I have because there's so much history, there's so much positivity, and there's so much love there. And same with my dad, with my sisters, with my friends. Like you kind of like have an intensity of focus that's combined with emotion, combined with body sensation. But then beyond that, there's almost like this mystical connection to our creator. So like there's a creative aspect to it. Like, like the first time you fall in love, you can't stop thinking about them. You can't stop fantasizing. Like there's that too, where it's like, there's sort of an ideal projection. There's like an ideal idealization that goes on, but there's also just like a deep feeling of wanting to be around them. And so that's what love is. And then there's two branches of love. There's conditional love and then there's unconditional love. So conditional love is like, I love when my dog kisses me on the cheek every day. And like that is the condition for loving my dog. If my dog doesn't kiss me on the cheek, I don't love my dog anymore. You can apply that to relationships. You can apply that to family, where it's like I love the fact that like my parents paid for my college and I don't have student debt. Like if like things along that, where it's like there's a certain condition, and then like if my parents stopped paying for my college, or if they were like, hey, pay up or whatever, then it would be like you wouldn't love them anymore. So you have conditions. Well, that's why it's called conditional. You have conditions for loving them. And unconditional love is just the opposite, where it's like, I don't know you, you haven't done anything to me, but I love you. Or even like if you do know somebody, I love you even if you treat me bad, or even if you turn away from me, or if you don't love me back, I'm still gonna love you. It doesn't mean that I don't have boundaries, right? It doesn't mean that I don't keep myself safe, keep others safe, but my love doesn't have a condition for it. So I have a personal definition of unconditional love. And I think the thing that people get stuck on is the only way to feel unconditional love in my book is to feel it for yourself first. And a lot of people, I would say the vast, vast majority of people, there's like 7 billion people, there's probably like a couple million that love themselves unconditionally. A lot of them are probably children, maybe like 100 million, 150 million. So it's like a pretty small group. And I think the reason why is because we have all of these conditional criteria for ourselves. Like, we want to be successful in work, we want to be successful in relationships, we want to get good grades in school, we want to be liked by others. There are so many conditions that we put towards ourselves. And when those conditions are met, we feel conditional love for ourselves. So like, if I make a YouTube video that gets a lot of views, conditionally I'll be like, oh yeah, like, good job, Jake, like, you killed it. But that's conditional love. That's love based on the condition of getting views. If I stop getting views, then suddenly I don't get a pat on the back. Whereas unconditional love is just this deep security inside, like right around your heart, where it's like, Jake, like, whether this video gets 1 view or 20 million views, I love you no matter what. My love is not affected. There's nothing you could do that would make me not love you. And feeling that towards yourself, which, by the way, if you want to feel that way, you have to forgive yourself for everything that you've done. And I think a great example of like forgiveness is actually in the Bible, in Jesus Christ. I'm not like a religious YouTuber, but I'm Christian, and I think about Jesus sometimes when I think about unconditional love, because there are so many stories in the Bible of people hurting Jesus, you know? And instead of turning away from them, which, like, I think, like, if somebody went up to me on the street, punched me in the face, I wouldn't feel unconditional love for them. But I think if it happened to Jesus, it wouldn't affect his love for them, because he understands that they were once just a little baby who wanted love. And then all of this stuff got in the way of the unconditionally loving baby when they turned into an adult. And because of that, they don't feel safe anymore. And that's why they act out. And so sort of like thinking about that example of like having an ideal unconditional lover. And it can even be like political figures like Gandhi or things like that, where it's like somebody who, in the face of like everybody would think that you should stop loving, like you should turn away, they don't. And that's where like true change comes in, is there are so many beautiful moments in my life where I've been really angry with someone. Like, I remember when I was in high school, this is so long ago, but there was this girl that I really had feelings for. I just thought about her day and night, total crush on her. I think I was like 15. And then one of my friends started dating her. And that was really tough. Like, I didn't talk to him for like a couple months. It was really hard, whatever. But then I specifically remember the day that I forgave him for it. And my forgiveness wasn't like, hey, what you did was cool, man. But I said something along the lines of, dude, I love you as a person. It was a shitty thing you did, but honestly, our friendship is worth more than that to me. And I'm just going to let it go. And I remember him recognizing that. And he was totally astonished. He was like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, I thought you were going to hate me forever. And, you know, I still consider him one of my friends to this day. We haven't talked in a long time, obviously, because it was in high school. But I still consider him like that. And what's better is, if you love unconditionally, like if somebody wrongs you and you forgive them, you don't hold any grudge against them anymore. You're not looking for revenge. You're not looking to one-up them. And in that no grudge, no looking to one-up, you're actually free to live life how you want to live. And how I want to live my life is a life of unconditional love and forgiveness, of saying to myself, I love you unconditionally. I forgive you unconditionally. There's nothing you could do that would make me not love you. And then through that feeling of that, combined with self-compassion for when I don't feel that for myself, combined with clear boundaries of like, obviously you can't just give and give and give and give and not protect yourself, because that is unsustainable and unsafe. Then through YouTube and through the various things that I do, my interactions with people, I can love unconditionally, and I can go against the grain of conditional love in the world, of, you know, increasing polarization between gender, political, whatever, and just say, I love you. And it doesn't make me better than anybody. Anybody can do this stuff. But instead of turning away from people and myself, I can turn towards love, unconditional love. And I can forgive myself and others for transgressions. And then I can hopefully push the needle a little bit towards unconditional love in the world. So my definition of unconditional love is there's nothing you could do to make me not love you. Meaning, there's no criteria for my love. There's no condition. I just love you. I hope that helps. Maybe you're watching this and you feel like you've never felt this feeling before. And if that's the case, I really encourage you to think about when you were just a little baby, just like 3, even below 3 years old, and how you felt towards your parents. You did feel it at some point. It's built within us. And maybe try and find that part of yourself and see what it has to say. Thanks for watching. Love you guys.